I am Ooby-Doo Banooby.
What's your middle name?
Scooby-Dooby.
Ooby-Doob Scooby-Dooby Banooby?
One and the same.
That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the fair use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. Have you ever heard the story of the man who had a blind girlfriend? She came to him and said she's seeing someone. He didn't know if that was good news or bad news.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. 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 Hey, everybody. We did it again. We're on the right side of the grass. It's a Friday night. Whoop, whoop. Congratulate yourselves. We'll see here. I got to hit the right button.
Clickety click.
Here's my camera. Oh, hey. Oh, close up. Let's see. Back this up. That's good enough. How's everyone going? Or doing? How y'all doing? Good to be seen by you all. I can't see you, but I can, sort of. I can go in here, and I can see the cool things that you say, like the virtual hug from Mac and stuff like that. And so I just love the interaction that you all do when you're watching the show. And I like to put it up on the screen when the intro goes. So once again, thank you all for being here. Annette just made it. She's not quite tardy yet. So, yeah. So good to see you, Groot. Nice to see you there. And yeah, so we got all kinds of people are filling in. They're checking in. Hey, checking in. And it is a nice group here. And that's such a happy kitty, Donna. Oh, listen to you. Why, thank you. You know, and I decided to wear my smart outfit. Actually, my smart pipe's downstairs, but it's okay. I can be smart. I have this one, which is still pretty smart looking. So we'll be okay there because we got a lot to talk about tonight. I wear my Meltology shirt. There's been a lot of discussions in certain communities about melt and what it is and all that. And so why not? I figured I'll give you at least put my spin, as they should say. Where is he? Put my spin on things. and explain the way I see the things that people talk about, including what's melted, what isn't, what's Tartaria, what is it, Pangaea, all these things I want to go over to an extent. And of course, since you're on this channel, you know that it's going to have, the biblical side to it because I present that side as part of my theory.
True. Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, and I remind people constantly on this show and on any show that you watch. And when I'm talking about when you're watching, it's not just one or two. I'm talking about everyone. And when I say everyone, they don't know. All we can do is theorize, just like the science can. But none of us are experts on this subject because all we can do is look at the information, do our own research, as they say. That could be a red flag word now, and then take that information and present our theories. Because in the end of the day,
There are no experts.
right? Juan Truth. Hopefully Juan is here. And on my show, this is what I play a lot. And if at any time that you're learning and you decide what I'm presenting is
bullshit,
then get a hold of me, write me or something. Because that's how I'll present it. Because what I won't what I won't ever do is a debate. I find those ridiculous. Nothing ever gets accomplished. And no one ever changes sides. It was back when I was in college, my first year of college. Excuse me. And it was my first year in college, and I took there's certain classes you had to take, and I had to take this English class that was a debate. And there were certain subjects that we weren't allowed to do a debate on because there's such trigger things. And one was, of course, abortion. One was, what were the three? Politics, abortion, and I can't think of the third one. What to have for Thanksgiving. No, I don't remember what it was. But it was certain things. Oh, capital punishment. Because there's certain things that are like so ingrained as I've read up on they're called strongholds, and it's such a stronghold belief system that we do for ourselves. Each and everyone has a different one. That when something goes up against it, the immediate reaction is just anger, frustration, yelling, whatever. I mean, it's like when I learned that I believe that they've been lying to us about where we live. Where's this thing here? We'll start with this. Where are you guys? Okay, I need that one. And you guys I've lost the show. Okay, so I need that. If you could, wait till you'll see when I'll screen share my screen, and the tabs that I have for it's ridiculous. I don't know how we'll ever get through them all, but hey, we'll do what we can. And clickety click. Where is it? Okay, I want this one. I mean, look, we got 1,000 tabs to get through tonight. Good luck. Okay, I think it's this one. All right. And so I found this one very interesting. There's a very few things on Twitter anymore. It's really gotten, or X. What a joke that was, right? You take a word Twitter, which is wonderful. Did you tweet? Have you tweeted? Look what's been tweeted. Tweeted, whatever. And then of course, you junk it up and you change it to X. And in addition to that, like every news article that you read now, it's X, and then they put in parentheses, formerly known as Twitter. So now it takes up 5 times the space as it used to if you just said Twitter. And then of course, who says X? Hey, did you X today? Oh, I X'd. Did you read the latest X's from? It's stupid. It's nonsense and dumb. I'm sorry for even bringing it up. Okay, but so what do? Twitter's a lot of time they're grabbing things off of TikTok, because if you look at this, it looks like it came from King Lamar on TikTok, but I got it off of Twitter. But
somebody tagged me in this video, and it's supposed to explain why.
Here, it's cool voice. I don't have that deep voice here, but that's pretty cool. We're gonna speed them up a little bit. So
we can't see the curvature of Earth, and the premise of the video is that Earth is so gigantic in relation to us. We are so microscopic on Earth that we couldn't possibly see any curvature. Now, the only problem with this argument is that it negates another argument, which is that we can see boats disappear going over the curvature of Earth standing on the beach. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that Earth is so large you can't see the curvature, and then in the same breath say that there's enough curvature over 3 miles to make an entire ship disappear. It doesn't make sense. We have a person standing here that's witnessing a ship vanish right before their eyes. Now, what could make this ship vanish if there is no curvature in between the person and the ship? Convergence, maybe? You guys need to wrap your head around this concept, or you'll forever think you're in outer space spinning on a rock where monkeys turned into talking people. The only reason you can see the sun, the stars, and the moon is because they are not millions of miles away from you. You've been finessed. Why? I have no idea. I don't have all the answers. I'm just pointing out the obvious. You can either take it or leave it. It's up to you. But this is your reality. Your perception of reality will not change the facts. And to see this, you need only to be a critical thinker. I think that's the issue here. Most globe enthusiasts don't think critically. And then you call us people who do think critically conspiracy theorists, when you guys are the ones with all the damn theories. The theory of relativity, the theory of evolution, the Big Bang theory, the theory of gravity. Everything about this globe that you believe in is dependent upon theories. And all they have to do is put the word scientific before theory, and you're sold on it. That's wild. Y'all enjoy being lied to. I can't even understand it.
I mean, I would have loved to have added something to that, but I couldn't have said it any better. That wraps it up just so perfectly. All about the whole idea of theories. I mean, I was pulling up, we're going to talk about these different theories because of the Pangaea theory, but when you look up theory, okay, so a theory is a rational type of abstract thinking about a phenomenon which results of such thinking, blah, 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 blah. It's often associated with, let's see, but when then they have a separate section for scientific theory, because when you go to scientific theory, then they say it's an explanation of an aspect of the natural world and universe that can be repeatedly tested or corroborated in accordance with scientific method. And you read through. And again, it's still just the theory. They can add the word science, and they can tell you that they're super smart and wear the white coats, and they can go through all these numbers and letters and stuff to try to make you think that they've proven it. but they haven't. Just like somehow we go from Earth to the vacuum of space with no container. They have a theory, but they've never proven it. Somehow we know that the moon and the sun are like, what is it? I forget the distance. The difference is like 100 times different, because when you look at them, they'll fold up into the same size, even though the moon is supposed to be 239,000 miles away, and the sun is, however many, whatever, million miles away, and yet it's large enough to then be the exact same size in the sky. That's their theory. They have no way of proving it. That's their theory. They give you a theory on how the lunar eclipse happens and how you can't see the moon. You can see it other days, anytime during the day, but on this particular time, you can't see it until it gets right in front of the sun and the earth, the eclipse, and then what? It turns red, and they got theories on that. But then also they don't explain how suddenly the parallel rays of the sun form into the umbrum penumbrum, and they like the Death Star, and they form a point and a cone, and that's the only time it happens. Like all the things that science wants to prove to me, it's a once in a lifetime rare occurrence. We'll go over like the ape caves I went through with Jen and my wife. We went through, and they were supposed to be a lava tube. Only time, really, I believe, in history that they've made the lava has formed a tube like a straw. Normally, it's just a blob like everywhere else in the world. But on certain event, this one time, millions of years ago, and they always have a story of they know when these things formed. And they also tell you that the Earth's crust is molten. It's doing this, that, and the other, and we've only gone 8 miles deep. It's all a theory, but you put a fancy name and a white coat and you get everyone believing it, just like that guy said. Because if the curvature existed, then no one would be questioning the flat Earth. And I'm only saying flat Earth because that's the basic idea that I see. Everything, water takes its own, level, seeks the own level, and it's basically flat. I also believe there's depths and heights to this Earth. And I go with there's a dome over it, just like it's told to me. There's a firmament protecting us. The water's above and the water's below. It keeps everything out. And that's why when you look at stars and you really look at them, not what NASA shows you, they honestly look like lights that you would see with water in front of it. Try it out for yourself. I've shown it on here. You can recreate the same idea in a pool. It's wild. And so that's what's going on here. When the guy says at the end there, he doesn't know why they're hiding it. Well, that's part of the thing that I was bringing up earlier, as far as why do they hide it? Why are they, what's the end game? What's the goal? And you can watch 1,000 different channels, and there's a lot of good information out there. But are they stopping you? That's what gatekeeping is. Are they preventing you from going any further? Do they just take you here and no further? And so what you have to do as a viewer of content, you have to break outside of that. You have to check out uncomfortable ideas. You have to actually look into them. And if there's a subject, say like meltology, that people want to debate, and you want to have a real debate, not a fake debate. A fake debate, it's like wrestling to me. It's like, that it's all staged, but it'll be entertaining. It's the same reason my wife and I like to watch these mystery shows, the British mysteries. They're entertaining. I know it's all fake, so I'll watch it. But to watch a debate thinking that you're actually learning something, when it's obviously it was made for show. It wasn't made for an actual debate. Why would you not have some of the, and no offense to the gentleman they had, I don't know who he is. I've never heard of him, but why not have someone that's done thousands of hours of research on it? I'm talking about Jen. She's basically the reason I know a lot of these words. And I've gone on hikes, whatever that word is, with her and stuff. And we've researched this stuff, and we found, excuse me, we found bricks and stuff. I got some of them came back with, and we went through the lava tubes, and we didn't see the volcano. We also didn't see bats. When they tell you got to be careful, and they shut it down occasionally because of the bats in there. And then when I did research on it, come to find out there's never been bats in there, because our experiences, there wasn't anything in there. It was completely dead. There was no sign of life of anything. There was no plants or anything growing. There's one area that there was like a skylight opening, and there were some plants and stuff that had come in there, but the rest of the thing was desolate. And we've shown it on Shapu's channel. He's got subway tunnels, old what do you call it, antique ones that they've excavated, and it matches up. I mean, some of our pictures match up perfectly. It's wild. I don't know what's going on there, but I know that we're being lied to on some of these things. And so to have a debate with someone that, you know, maybe he's watched some shows and maybe he's done some stuff, but when you can go on and Shapu for sure could explain, he explains some of the things on the melt and the popcorning and stuff and that you see. And that's fascinating information. So if you really want to have a debate, you know, talk to those people or myself. I've done quite a bit of shows with them, but no. And then the other side has looked at nothing, you know. And so I didn't watch it. I was told about it. I was sent videos and clips and stuff, of course, because Melanie, it's all your fault. And so, you know, all I saw was she sent me this clip from the debate. Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. She sent me this one.
All right, we can't do this. What causes the freezing effect?
That's all I needed to see. That's the same person that screamed and yelled, what was it, a year or two ago, that what we were talking about is retarded. Okay, fine. If you feel that way, just do your thing. But to have pretend debates against people, it's a straw man argument. We know we all talk about it on these shows. Now, if you and debate, like I said, it doesn't help. The people want to listen to the information, they'll seek it out. To have two people sit on a show and yell at each other, maybe I'm wrong, but I've never heard of anyone switching sides because of debate. Most of the time, people just go there with their hands going like this, going, "Oh, this will be good," more screaming and stuff. It's not for me. So all I'll ever do is present this information. And if you actually want to look at it and see what I say, great. And if you don't, and you just think, you know, I'm retarded, well, you know, this is all I can say.
I don't feel dirty.
All right. So I think that's enough of that nonsense. And I only bring these things up because enough people ask me and send me things and ask me what I think. So that's what I think. And all right. So let's go to, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just piggyback off of that. And let's see. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can watch people with no information like that. I don't know. But hey, you got to watch something. I mean, I know why everyone comes here. It's the same reason that I'm here every Friday.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
Hey, come on. Who does it better, me or this idiot?
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
You know what? He is pretty good at it, I have to admit.
That's very true.
Okay, so what do I feel about all this? I find it fascinating as we wake up, and I don't like the labels. I don't like being called truther. I don't like any of this stuff. As we wake up to these things, where's that one area? Let's see. I'm just saying, I find it shocking that we start discovering things like, where are these buildings here? Oh, come on. I had it right before the show. Let's see. Hang on a second, people. Where is this? There, that one. Okay. So let me bring this one up. Let's see, where are you at? Clickety click. Go here. We'll go to that one. Okay. So let's see. All right, can you guys see that? Hopefully, yes. Okay. So yeah, we're the narrative. You've got two options. You either believe that an event happened that could have melted rock, buildings, bricks, or you have to believe that everything that we find is someone thousands of years ago, for unclear reasons, ancient cultures around the globe, well, Earth, decided to escape the surface of our planet and seek shelter and carve these out. Now, I understand some of it is the slee stacks. I get that. But I'm saying there's more to it than that. Because you've got buildings like this, which we're not making anymore, built in the, supposedly, or I should say founded. They never say built, they just say founded, a lot of them in the 16 to 1800s. And then you get areas like this, which to me would explain when God says there is a fervent heat and that things melt like wax. That's what I see there. I see a heat event that was so intense, it melted. I mean, otherwise you're trying to tell me that for no apparent reason, we're doing what? We're building castles and we're leaving giant pieces of whatever, granite or something here, or quartz, and then we're putting like a window in the side of this or this. I mean, were they drunk when they put this together? Or this? See, when you look at this, you think, wow, somehow they carted all this material with these gigantic horses or jackasses or whatever people they're spouting they did. And somehow they built this massive structure up here. Or this whole thing was maybe a massive structure. And these are the areas, as Jen would say, pockets of survival that are still showing. When you read about the Tower of Babel, they were trying to reach heaven. So these buildings are massive. Even the actual drawings of ancient Babylon, it went on for days. There's some cities that took, 3 days to walk through. So when you see things like this, where you can see that brick can be affected, you have to at least take some time and to research it and look into it. But you're not going to do it on a debate where you scream at each other. It just doesn't happen. But you're going to try to explain to me why they randomly put some red bricks into this building. I'm not buying it. Like, what was the idea behind that? And what happened in here? So, but the buildings that we see, these, and this is underneath the, what's that, Lincoln Memorial. But the buildings that we see, as described, they say these Tartaria style buildings, these amazing, where do I have a picture of one of those? I thought I had it in here. Well, I know I've got thousands that we can look through, but you've seen them, these buildings that go on, they're incredible. Here's, what's the one in, I think it was, let's see the Capitol. See if it's this one. Well, why don't we just do something like, I'll do this. Okay. Where are we at? Where'd you guys go? You're over here. So like this building, in the Notre Dame building in France.
From France.
I mean, this structure, and that's when they were repairing it because it went on fire. But the fact that these type of buildings are everywhere, all over the world, similar types of buildings, motif, and most of them built in a timeline that we can't duplicate. Most of them built in a way that we can't duplicate. What's the Kremlin? I mean, look at these places. Most likely completely topped with gold, because if you go over the shows that Jen and Chapu do, they talk about Antiquitech, Steve JMO, even those days. I've been banging around YouTube for quite a while. We used to do shows together and talked about all this stuff. And they expect you to think that this was built in a time with donkeys and horses and very few people. And they would a lot of times build these things and just say later it's a post office. Or, I mean, look at the stuff over in Australia, G'day, where they, a prison colony. And prisoners that actually had no, oh, I'm not even showing those pictures. Just for me. The show's just for me now. All right, fine. We'll talk about Australia.
Crikey! It's news for Australians, mate. Good day. Here's your news straight from Australia. We once were a prison colony, and now we done separated into many colonies. I've lost my accent. Crikey! Those look mountainous. Oh. Wow! You'll have to learn not only to drive on the wrong side of the road, but upside down. Bonza!
Okay. So, let me try sharing it this time. Present screen. Da-da-da. Clickety-click. Go here. Go here. Yeah. You go to Australia, start out as a prison colony, as they say. And then, get out of there. Let's see, where is it? Where'd it go? So you can look it up. I didn't have it ready presented to you tonight, but the fact that they built all these gigantic buildings, and we're talking it was like prisoners building these with no experience, and the buildings that they built, I can't find any of them, but there's a bear, koala, if it's real, and there's a vampire. The fact that they were able to take it from just indigenous people huts to these massive buildings and stuff in, like, I don't know, less than 100 years or so. And think, who's going to go there? Like, how do you encourage people to go to a prison island and say, hey, it's okay, they're cool now, and they're going to help you build things? Like, the narratives don't make sense. And so when I started looking at this and looking at the timeline that we're on, and the only reason I did that is because I was seeing all these other crazy lies that were going on, like, say, the Mandela effect, which I've been talking about for several years too. And you can't escape it. You know, for instance, the flag for Britain, it's no longer symmetrical. It's all wonky in the lines. And then this.
Would you get fired over this, right?
So I thought I'd try to watch a James Bond movie, you know, with Sean Connery when he comes back in his late 50s, and then all of a sudden, that flag's all wrong. Yeah,
someone's getting fired, is what that was.
And the reason I call it that is for people to put together a movie and spend that kind of money. Like, for instance, the prop guy on that had to make that. And then it had to be approved. And then it had to be, you know, obviously they did the scene. There's multiple times they showed that pen. In post-edit, someone should have seen, the actor should have seen it. Everyone should have said, hey, this pen's wrong. But they don't. They don't. Just like I've shown that, where's this one? Where'd it go? Oh, I have it on here. Let's see. Bring it up here. If I can find it. Okay. So we want to go here. This isn't the show that you wanted. It's the show you deserve. It's like a Batman thing. Okay. That's not it. Okay, we'll bring that up. Okay, here we go. Clickety click. We'll go here. Oh, but if I do it that way, you can't hear the audio. So let's do it this way. Go here and here. Share the audio. Clickety click. Okay, and it's this one. Yeah. Okay. So this is a book that I came across. Oops, that's not it. This is a book I came across. And see that? The clock is changed now in a lot of clocks. The way I've always remembered it, growing up working on watches, because that was one of the things in my trade I used to do. I had to fix watches and repair them. And clocks and pocket watches and everything, they always had the Roman numeral as IV. And now you're seeing a lot of clocks changing to 4 1s on that, which just looks really bizarre. And when my dad was alive, that one shocked him. He woke up to all this right before he passed. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you, God. Seriously. And then, of course, I've shown you this gentleman before. My wife and I enjoy watching him and his wife. But this is obvious, okay? It could be either way. But, yeah, I keep watching to see if I can see what's on his arm. But he showed up again. And what do? They went into this office and check it out. They got right in front of him. That was wrong. So she's upset because she knows it's wrong. I don't know why they spent the time doing that. And then, let's see, was that it? Yeah, that's a fun guy. I don't know. He looks like a mushroom, but he seems fun. Like a fun guy. No, but where'd it go? It's I know, it's up here. I just found this cool thing anyone can do, and you can do these little clips. Okay, where are we at? Where's that? Oh, okay, it's up here. All right, so we'll grab
Clickety click,
and we'll go here and here. And here and here and here and clickety click. I think it's this one. Yeah. So check out what he says here.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Are these guys going to do great or will they suck balls?
Did you hear him? So apparently, and I've done a whole video on it. It's on my channel about mirror, mirror was never said now in the Disney movie. And the people that want to deny it say, oh, well, it was said in the book and then they changed it in the movie. And fine for you if that's what you want to listen to. But for me, I never read the book. All I ever saw was the movie. And so the fact that myself and a whole bunch of other people would say it like this.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Are these guys going to do great or will they suck balls?
Of course, that's not the exact line from the movie, but you get the point. The fact that was never said. So I found that really interesting. And so let's see. And do I have... All right, let's go back into here. Let's go here. So let me see. Let me clear some of these. I'm getting lost in my tabs. So many tabs. Let's see. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's continue with that theme. Go to this one. Let's knock all these out while I have them. We'll go clickety click here and here and here. And yeah, feel free to check out my channel and all my old videos. I started doing Mandela effect videos and then I went on from there. So let's see. We'll go here. And then I think this one. So, of course, everyone has talked about, if you're new to this, one of the things that really seems to wake people up to this whole thing going on is, oh, yeah, I looked over there, Red Storm Dilemma. That's a weird one. I got A's in spelling. I have to say I was a bit nerdy. I was a teacher's aide in English because I got such good grades and passed everything. It was flying colors, my favorite subject. And then, of course, dilemma, I used to say it that way so I wouldn't forget how to spell it. Why would I ever put an N in there if it's never had it? Because the spelling of dilemma now has two M's and there's never been an N. Why did I and everyone else that remembers it that way remember saying dilemma? Doesn't make sense. Stovetop stuffing, Stouffer's is gone. Bragg's, apple cider vinegar, there's no S on it. All this stuff's just, it's something you see all the time. There's no way you can misremember it. I'm sorry. It's just impossible. And so the fact that the Scarecrow got a gun, I thought it'd be a time to remind everyone that in the season that we find ourselves in, this winter season, don't forget that Yukon, was it Jack? I think was his name. He's now armed, and which makes no sense because when he meets the Yeti monster, right? Why doesn't he just shoot him? No, he goes through this whole Tom Cruise thing, going, whoops, what happened? No, we can't play it. We're not going to do that. We're just going to talk through it. He does this whole Tom Cruise move where he goes up on top of the mountain here and kicks snow on him, right? And then drops a rock on his head. And rather than just shoot him, hey, that's not humane. Why would you shoot him? Well, you know what they do instead? They knock him unconscious, right? And this little whatever, elf on a shelf, creepy little dude, he wants to be a dentist. So what does he do when he's unconscious? I don't know where his tool is, but he takes his tool out and he yanks out all his teeth. So now they're torturing the poor creature. See, he has no teeth. So he has absolutely no chance of ever eating again. And on top of that, they push him over a cliff. Like that's not enough. Okay. And then you think, well, he's dead, so that's okay. No, he's not dead. Spoiler alert. He comes back and he's now enslaved by the same guy that, where is it? He's enslaved by the same guy that had the kid rip out all his teeth. So now he's their indentured servant with no teeth. Meanwhile, he still has a gun. He could have just scared him or shot the gun and maybe make the thing go away. I don't know. Why am I so caught up in this? Because I don't remember him having a gun. That's all. You, Mr. Beast fan? Is that crazy? Remember the gun? Anybody else remember the gun? No? He had an ice pick. Yeah, Dizzy. I remember an ice pick. Yeah. Yeah, right. A pickaxe, Zulu. Right. Exactly. So suddenly he has a gun now. So he could have just shot him instead of torturing the poor thing. Anyways. It's funny when you look at these things with different eyes. He was the hero. What did this thing do? They came onto his land, screwed with him, knocked him unconscious, tortured him, and then made him their slave. They're the good guys. Excuse me. Meanwhile, I think I'm all that in a bag of chips because I was doing Mandela effects. Well, actually, a lot with Brian back in the day, in 17 or whatever, and 18. This guy, who is not even about the Mandela effect, the one that I just brought up, where it says Scarecrow has a gun, with 232,000 views, 10 years ago. That means he posted this in 2013. That was 4 years before I even knew anything was happening. And it's interesting because this is how I find a lot of people it happens. Something bothers them. And in fact, he doesn't even talk about Mandela effect here 10 years ago. It just bothered him and he posted it. And a lot of people, comment on it. Most of this is he likes the love line with Adam and Dr. Drew. I remember that when I was a kid growing up. He threw in the Silence of the Lambs 2 years ago because obviously, it's still bugging him. And the fact that most of his videos get, 15 to 10 views, some of them a few more, 100 and some. But when he posts the Mandela effect stuff, it goes up every time. So I just found it interesting because there's another gentleman my wife was watching yesterday, and he has a business. Let me see if I can. Hey, hon. What was the name of that guy that you were watching? What is it? Quantum. Let's see. Quantum. Oh, that might be it. Let's see. Maybe. Let's go with the oldest. Yeah. Okay. So right around the time that my wife and I are starting to wake up to this weirdness and what's going on in the world, I came across this gentleman, and like myself, he didn't know anything about Mandela effect. He actually, I'm sure didn't ever believe in it or discuss it or even think it was a possibility. Just like the whole flat earth thing. I believed in ball earth right up until whatever that was. It's been like 7 years or so. So I understand the other side. And I understand the people that didn't and that still don't understand the Mandela effect. Like this gentleman. So what does he do? He's got a video here where he has a company. It's a company called NECS. And they do a thing where they have a computer business. Oops, come on. A computer business where it helps you with your inventory and stuff. With most of it, they say is grocery stores and things like that. But it helps you with your programs to inventory check and stuff and check for corrupt data. And it's quite an involved program. And they were getting constant calls from people upset that there was something wrong and their data was being corrupted. And so he had to put out this video. This video was 4 years ago. And he had to put out this video explaining to people that the HAAS avocados that they remember were now HASS, and it wasn't his fault. And it was the computer program trying to remember that you were buying Macintosh apples because that's what they were. That's why the Apple Mac came about and not Macintosh apples, right? And so that's why they were having an issue. And so he had to create this video to help his customers explain to them there was never a stovetop by Stouffer's. And there was never a Fruit Loops with a UI like we remember. And so he's having to go over these things because they're having trouble with their inventory control as the names of these products are changing. And so he had to make this video, not because he necessarily believed the Mandela effect, but it was affecting his business and his idea that people were thinking that they didn't know what they were doing. So he covers the Mandela effect. He covers, how there's 6 people now in the car instead of 4 and all this stuff. And he didn't start out as a Mandela effect show. Just like I remember my wife and I were watching this guy. I think, what was he? Was he a broker? I forget exactly what he was. But he was, I believe, if I have this right, he was at a car wash. And he was just discovering it around the same time we were. And he completely changed his life. His name is Jacob Israel. He does all kinds of stuff on where he feels that we are biblically and the Mandela effect and all that. And that's how he started. We saw that progression. And if you watch my progression, you'll see that was the first thing that freaked me out. So I was doing videos on that. And then once I learned where I was living and that I wasn't flying through space on a what do you call it? Do I have that? Maybe I don't even have that anymore. I played it so many times. I wasn't flying through space on a spinning ball, like they show us. No, it's not there. That's good for you. It's not there. I'll keep going. That once I figured that one out, then you start asking, like, why? Why does every video, whether it's Mandela effect or whether it is the lies of the news or whether it is aliens or lizard people or whatever, all the videos seem to end with a discussion of a battle between good and evil, God and Satan. And I remember distinctly, I kept asking my wife, I don't understand why we always end up here. Born and raised Jewish, I didn't believe in the Bible. I didn't believe in Jesus. He was just a prophet. So why did God choose me to talk about these things? I think that's the reason. There are people that get really angry when you discuss the Bible. It's a stronghold, and they don't want to listen. They want to say that I'm stupid and retarded, or they want to say that I'm caught in some weird dogma of some religious book to like control me. Fine. But rather than that, take some time and do some research on it. And I'm not saying dissect the Bible. If you try to read the Bible and just do it by dissecting words, you'll never get the idea. You'll never understand it. It'll be foreign to you. God says so. you have to want to read it, and you have to take the time. And the best way, I would say, is sit down and ask the Holy Spirit to reveal things to you. Because what I found with the Bible, and it doesn't matter if you've been reading it your whole life or if you started yesterday, it's, are you thoroughly reading it all the time? Are you learning from it all the time? I read it every day. And if I'm not reading it, I'll listen to it. It doesn't mean I'm doing it all the time. I just told you, we binged watched Happy Valley, such a good show if you can find it. It's brutal, and it's murders, mystery, and all that stuff. But I can tune out, and I know it's fake, and I know they're a bunch of demons probably in meat suits, and they're pushing agendas in my eyes, and I know it's programming. I get it, but what else am I going to do? I can't watch my own show. You're watching me. Thank you for that. And I can't watch any of these debates. I just can't. I can't take it. I can't take it. And so what am I going to do? So we'll research. I'll read the Bible, and occasionally we'll watch some funky movie or TV show or something to tune out. I have fiction books I'm reading, because you need to tune out, or even take time to process. If all you do is this, you're missing out on a big part of life. God wants you to live in joy, I-N, not E-N, in joy. You're supposed to enjoy your life. You're not supposed to wait for it to end. You're not supposed to be a Christian holding on to a Bible, singing little prayers to yourself, waiting for Jesus to return. You're doing it wrong. If you found out the truth of the world, and you found out who God is, and you found out who Jesus is, you're supposed to share that. Now, that doesn't mean to take the Bible and beat people over the head with it. That's why so many people are turned off to it. I was turned off to it. I'm telling you that. I was turned off to it. I would never even listen to someone talking like I am. The whole reason I do this show the way I do and throw in jokes and entertainment and stuff is maybe, just maybe, you'll hang in there and you'll hear these other parts. But as you can see, I lost 10 people just talking about the Bible. But that's okay. Because the people that want to hear it, they'll accept it and they'll start listening and they'll look into it themselves. And that's why we're here. I'll tell you what, let's go into, let me clear some of these tabs. Then we'll get to our main part of the program, as they say, the program, my own programming. And see, that's the problem. What's happened is people, what do you mean people? But people that decided they've woken up and they're no longer going to idolize the politicians or the movie stars or the rock stars or whatever, then they turn it to this. And they go, well, that person's taught me something several years ago. I'm going to listen and believe everything they say because I'm going to idolize them. So don't do that. I've encouraged people to not even try it with me. I know it's difficult. I don't want you to. No, it's silly. All I just happen to have the gift of gab. Ask my wife.
That's very true.
And somehow I do it in an entertaining way. But we keep getting ourselves, we keep getting ourselves caught up into, it's almost like a hypnosis of following the idols. And you can't. Don't follow the idol.
Take control, get a hold of my emotions. Stop fighting the audience. Why does it always seem to hit me in the middle of the night? Stop it! Told me there's a number I can always dial. Let me do my show, for Christ's sake!
Satellite tracking continues.
Right? Hey, look who's here. Hey, good to see you. Did you just get here? All right. Where is it? This goes for anybody else that just showed up. Melanie, you keep an eye on who's been late. Because, you know, we got to get them after class.
I don't feel tardy.
Okay. So, good to see you. Who else? Yeah, no pearls before swine. No pearls to swine. Oh, is that one changed? Oh, shoot, I hope not. Yeah, my wife found another one yesterday. I'll bring that one up. This is how this works. If you read the Bible and you start finding these things. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay, clickety click. What do we got there? Okay. Where are you? Click here. Okay, so what she came across, Ecclesiastes. Here, let me pull this up. I'll do it this way. I'll remember to screen scare screen. I'll remember to screen share this time. Okay. Here we go. And we'll go KJV. And when I look up these things, I always look up KJV. Is that because I'm a KJV snob? Well, you can call me that, but that's just what I got used to when I was taking those classes in the debate and stuff. I also had to take one in voice and diction. And on that one, they had us learn William Shakespeare. And so he talks very similar. And so I read that and I kind of just stuck there. And what did I see here? I wanted to say something because I saw something swing by there. Yeah. G'day, isn't it? It's an exciting time to be alive. And that's how I felt when I first woke up to all this. You get this whole woe is me kind of thing. Like, why me? Why are we here? And then the more you spend time with it, and then you also need God, because without it, it's very scary. It can be very fearful. Then you realize you were chosen for the time of the end, for the time when all the old stories, they all question, when are these times going to be? And we're here, right? And why are you here? Well, we know we're here because we got nowhere else to go, but you're here during these times because God chose you to be here. Now, why? Well, that's for you to figure out. That's for him to reveal to you. But there's no accidents. You're here for a reason. And so, yeah, it is pretty, and now it's stuck. I can't get rid of your comment. What's going on? You'll always be on the screen now. There we go. Which ones? Hi there. Let's see. And you're still here. Okay, good. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, he didn't start the fire. I think he did, didn't he? I didn't either. Isn't that something? He's one of my favorite handlers. What can I say? I got caught up in it. That's why they're so good at what they do. They're talented, right? That's why they use them. They're incredibly gifted in their talent, and that's why they push their agendas. And they can act like that, and nobody cares. I talked about this. I think I might do an entire show about all the villains in Hollywood. I mean, literally one of my favorite handlers of all time. We've talked about this, Matthew Broderick, and he goes over, I think it was in England or Ireland, and allegedly drunk drives, but he crashes his car head on. He kills the mother and daughter and pays off the family and never sees jail time. So, because he's a good actor. Oh, God. Don't even get me started on Caitlin, who killed someone drunk driving, most likely, as Bruce, and then did a sex change, I believe, mostly to avoid jail, because now if they go after him, he's like, well, the Bruce isn't here anymore. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And as long as we're there, I hope Jen is here. I always throw something in to my shows now specifically with Jen in mind, because she not only does the amazing information on metallurgy, the actual person that would know how to explain this properly. She also covers this subject, and I'm not going to say anything. Whoops, where'd it go? I'm not going to say anything. That's up to you, Jen. But for those of you who remember, this is Julia Childs. And the thing that just struck me about this is I immediately, because I told you I was like a latchkey kid, obviously, and I know all these movies and TV shows. To me, I couldn't tell a difference between John Lithgow and According to Garp and Julia Childs. He might have played the same role. Just saying. Oy vey. Boom, baby. I have that. Where is that? It's one of these. There you go.
Boom, baby.
Yeah, all right. Okay. All right. What's next? Let's see. Well, I can clear those two tabs. That worked. I forgot what we were. You think Trump's a woman? We could look into that, but maybe on another show. I'll tell you what, we'll start with this. We'll go here, we'll go clickety click. No, wait, we want the whole screen. I'll share the whole screen and go with this one. Where is it? Oh, I fell in the wrong. There we go. Here's where we're going to start. Say goodbye to Kiss live touring. They're now going to be the first U.S. band to go virtual. So check this out. I keep talking about this. Everything that's gone on in the last few years, nothing was ever forced on us. I was a kind of a lone voice there when a lot of true channels are saying they're coming down your driveway to cart you away. They don't have the manpower, nor the skills, nor the desire, unless you've done something egregious. They're not going to come for you for these different things that they always scare you of. They don't have it unless they bring the UN forces in as their army, and who knows what they are. But that's not yet. War of Gog and Magog. We can talk about that later. But everything they've done to us, they've just asked us, and we've accepted it, and we've sometimes paid for it ourselves and encouraged it. We complain that we're all tied to these machines, and yet we pay a lot of money for these machines. A lot of people update it. We carry it with us all the time. I'm a victim of it too. I think that's why we're ripe for harvest, is because it's at a point where we're asking our slave masters for new ways to enslave us. And so rather than, in my day, as an old timer, when you would go to a live concert and you'd always have a Bic lighter with you for the encore and a few other things, you'd enjoy the concert. Yeah, most likely we're finding out you're doing spells and spell casting, but whatever. I enjoy every concert I've ever gone to. That's why I went. But now they've convinced a whole generation, or the new ones coming up, because they're not after me or anyone's really listening to this. They're after the next generation, say my grandkids, that will grow up thinking that this is perfectly normal and that they're going to have AI performances, digital avatars performing Kiss. I don't even know if they'll have them live sing it again or if they'll just have it all created in AI form. And people are going to pay money for this. And in fact, you'll get the full virtual experience. You can sit on your couch like everything else, like the movie Idiocracy, like the movie Wall-E. I mean, they show us time and time again where we're heading as a society. And America faster than any of them. With the amount of horrible food and lack of proper exercise and things in the schools, we're fast tracking this country to become people that will be encouraged to not have to schlep to the concert and this, that, and the other. All my food's right here. I can order a pizza probably without even doing anything. I can probably push a button. Or, hey, maybe in the Matrix future, you can just think it and it'll just automatically order you the pizza. I don't know. Did you guys see? Where's that thing? Let's see. I think it's on here. Where are you all? Let me stop this for a second. Oh, my computer's lagging. Oh, too many tabs, it says. All right, we'll work on that computer. Hopefully I'm not frozen. Oh, I am frozen.
You're frozen, man. Talk.
All right, am I back? Whew, my computer's upset. There's too many tabs. Okay, so let me fix this. Let's see, we'll get rid of that. Okay. We'll get rid of that. And that. Okay, that's going to help. All right. Yeah, where is it? It's one of these. I'll just do it this way. We'll go here. We'll go here. We'll go not to that one. We'll go here. Okay. I should have just not bothered. That's what my wife is thinking right now. And pretty soon she'll just say it. Let's see. Okay, I found it. So it's, man, a lot of commercials on YouTube, specifically on my channel. Why is there so many? Okay. We'll click on here. Here. Get rid of that. That's what it is. I had too many things open. All right, hopefully I don't freeze again. Okay, so clickety-click here. We'll go here. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one.
Satellite.
Hello? Yeah, is this Pizza Hut? No, sir, it's Google Pizza. I must have dialed the wrong number. Sorry. No, sir, Google Pizza. Google bought Pizza Hut last month. Oh, all right. Well, I'd like to order a pizza. Would you like your usual, sir? What do you mean my usual? Do you know me? According to our caller ID data sheet, the last 12 times you called, you ordered an extra large pizza with 3 cheeses, sausage, pepperonis, mushrooms, and meatballs on a thick crust. Yeah. Wow. Great. I'll have that. May I suggest, sir, that this time you order a pizza with ricotta, arugula, sun-dried tomatoes, olives, and a whole wheat gluten-free thin crust? Well, why would I want to order a vegetarian pizza? Well, your cholesterol's not so good, sir. Well, how the hell do you know that? Well, we cross-reference your home phone number with your medical records. You see, we have the results of your blood test for the last 7 years. Okay, I don't want your stupid, rotten vegetarian pizza. I already take medication for my cholesterol. Excuse me, sir, but you have not taken your medication regularly. According to our database, you purchased only a box of 30 cholesterol tablets once at Lloyd's Pharmacy 4 months ago. I bought from another pharmacy. Well, that doesn't show on your credit card statement, sir. I paid in cash. But you didn't withdraw enough cash according to your bank statement, sir. I have other sources of cash. Oh, that doesn't show on your latest tax returns, unless you bought them using an undeclared income source, which is against the law. What the hell? I'm sorry, sir. We use such information only with the sole intention of helping you. Okay, enough. I'm sick to death of Google, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and all these others. I'm going to go to an island without the internet, with no TV, where there's no phone service and no one can watch or spy on me. I understand, sir, but you need to renew your passport first. It expired 6 weeks ago.
Satellite tracking continues.
And scene. Yeah. So, like, we're really close to the Matrix already. We're just still using a keyboard and stuff to get it done. But let me get rid of that. That'll help this process too. But yeah, so we're still using it that way. But pretty soon, right, we'll just connect to it. They're already doing it. I've covered it the last few years. There's companies that'll implant chips so you can go into work, you can buy your food, you can turn on your computer and passwords and all that stuff. You can get in your car. And people are doing it and they're paying for it. And that's the whole thing. We are encouraging paying for the things to continue to enslave us. It's fascinating. And so, but again, like I said, I have to live in this world. I'm not going to pretend that I don't. But I have to see it for how it is. As Prince said in that video, because they do allow him to say things real to you. He's talking about I think it was the internet, and it's the same with the phone. Like, you need to control the phone. Don't let the phone control you. And so if you're having a thing where you're constantly having with you, it's the first thing you pick up and you're on it all day and stuff, you have to try to break away. And I'm not going to say, get rid of it. You got to, not everyone can be like Melanie and have a phone from 1980. We all use these. I use it for this show constantly. I'm always coming up with things to put on for this. So I understand it, but you have to think of it as a tool, just like a hammer. It's the same with money. Don't go for the love of money. Know that money can help get you the things that you need to keep your life within joy. But money is the root of all evil. Money is not the end game. It's just a tool. It doesn't matter if you've piled it high or if you're working, paycheck to paycheck. What you want to do is figure out a way that you can work and have time for yourself, have time for your family, have time for God, have time for the Word. You have to make time. You'll never find it. You'll never find time. You have to make time. And if you can binge watch a series like we did, I know everyone's done it. That's the whole reason there's a name for it. If you can spend however many hours, 2, 4, 6 hours, whatever, or you can watch a truther stream that goes on for 5, 6, some of them go 10 hours. If you can have that on all day, even if you're not watching it, maybe you're listening to it. You can do the same thing with scriptures, and you'll find something. They're not scary. The stories are interesting. The Old Testament stories, which I believe talk about our history, are interesting. There's excitement, there's danger, there's murder, there's adultery, there's everything. That's where they get all their ideas. Star Wars is out of the Bible. Lord of the Rings is out of the Bible. We were talking about Ecclesiastes. There's that whole song by, the Birds? Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn. It's literally word for word out of the Bible. I didn't even know that until however many years ago when I picked up the Bible and I hit Ecclesiastes. And I went running to my wife and said, check this out. This song is the Bible. And I had no idea. So here's the question I had like an hour ago on Ecclesiastes. I hope I'm saying that right. I always have issues with that. In Colossians and whatever, however you say those words, doesn't matter. Or the apothecary, apocrypha, I don't know. I don't care. Doesn't matter. But as I remember this, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is, look at that. It should be, and there is nothing new under the sun on a KJV. But it now says, there's no new thing. See, I remember this. There is nothing new under the sun. I remember this. You can say, oh, well, it's a different translation, or it's here. It's that way still in the NKJV. But that's not what I read. I told you I've only been reading the KJV. I've only been reading either the KJV that my wife gave me, which I'm not sure where it's downstairs right now, because I read the darn thing, or this one, which was gifted to me from the 1800s. Okay? And when I see a passage that I've always known as, there's nothing new under the sun, and it now says, there's no new thing, Well, to me, that is a new thing. Sorry. Right? Nothing new under the sun, says Cassandra. Nothing new, says Crazy John. Nothing new. Again, we could probably find it still in some of the other versions. Maybe they'll change later. But for me, KJV, nothing new under the sun. Mic drop. So you can try to tell me it doesn't happen. The Mandela effect's not real. You can try. But see, I have something that nobody else does. I have that Bible that was beautifully presented to me. It coincidentally, it's 1880, and it coincidentally was owned by a man named Richard, my name. In addition to that, it had a thing about his wife that had died, and they were having a memorial service, and the carriages were coming to pick the people up. And the date of that day is my birthday. So that's an interesting coincidence. In addition to that, you've got things like this, where this is no longer an olive branch that's being held by the dove from Noah's Ark. It's a single leaf. There's no branch. This is the very first picture, actually, in the Bible that I own. And it's never happened this way. And yet this artist drew it wrong in this Bible. And it has a stack of names that put it together. And nobody caught that this was wrong. Or the fact that I've talked about this on my show, that now I think it's in Matthew, Luke, and who's the other person? There's two saints, and they remember the person that the lunatic that had so many demons, and then they end up going in the pigs, and they go off in the ocean or whatever. Matthew now remembers two men possessed with demons. That's a new thing. Yet my Bible has these two drawings, and both of them, it's a lunatic. But this page is the one that you can't explain. And as Shapu says, if you can't explain it to me, I'll explain it to you. So if the Mandela effect doesn't exist, this Bible from the 1800s, excuse me. I love this page because on the left side, you see two things. You see the passage of the Lord's Prayer that's been changed. You also see the passage here about judged, lest you be judged. And that one's changed too. See, this now says, judge not that ye be not judged. But the whole idea behind this is you can see, here's this page that has the Lord's Prayer on it when they ask how you're supposed to pray. And you can clearly see, I'll make it larger too, but it has trespasses, but not where it's supposed to. It has it here. Where it's supposed to be trespasses, it says debts. And so what's interesting about this is this page has it the old way. So how could this page be changed and this page not? I'll show you. Here's this page without the rice paper on it. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. And this word here, on earth as it is in heaven. If you look at this passage now, it says in earth. Now, first of all, that doesn't make any sense. We don't live in earth. I told you that's where the slee stacks live. We live on earth. So that's a weird change. And these changes, you could say they're subtle and you misremember. But for those of us that study the scriptures or have said this prayer maybe their whole lives, it's like someone hit you with a rock. It hurts your ear that much that you stop. And that's when you notice it. But more importantly, you get down to here. Give us this day our daily bread. And the way I remember, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And it has it all right there. And on that page, it says on and trespass. On this page, after this day will be done, give us our this daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So this page changed, and the page next to us hasn't. Or you're telling me that no one noticed that they had that wrong on that etching and they went ahead and kept it anyways? And again, when you find, it's interesting, when you go down to line 14, he puts in the word trespass again. Well, if you're discussing debts and debtors on line 12, why wouldn't you say, forgive men their debts on line 14? For if you forgive men their that doesn't make sense now, because he's referencing this. Forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors, lead us not into temptation, right? For if ye forgive men their, see, it should be changed. So that's interesting, I find. And if that's not enough for you, in the same book, there's this page. Now, this one's a real quantum effect. It has it both ways. And you can see copyright, see? 18, well, I guess I'd have to look at the actual book. I think it's 1850, but somewhere in there. I'll look it up. And check this out. Our Father art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth. See that? So that one's changed. But then you get down to the next line. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. So half of this has changed. Isn't that interesting? It's all in the same book. Same book from the 1800s. And Moses now has horns in my book. And he now rides in an ark, but it still shows a basket, the way I remember it, in the brambles. Now he's in an ark, apparently. That's changed. So that's cool. That and the horns, of course. You look at a lot of statues in art now, and he's got horns without anyone explaining it. So, and he also now does no longer get tablets. The T is gone. He now receives tables from God, as this drawing has changed. Isn't that interesting? Some of them change, some of them don't, some of them have changed. Because the whole joke is no longer valid. It used to be that you could say that Moses, he was the first person to download data onto a tablet from the cloud. Right? That's a good one. It's a good one. So yeah, so that joke's no longer valid either or. So, okay. How do I get out of this? All right. So there you go. None of those make any sense if the Mandela effect or the quantum effect or whatever you want to call it. Then someone needs to explain to me how all of that can exist in a single book from the 1800s. And so when you say, when did the Mandela effect start? Who knows? Because these things go all the way back to the beginning of time. It's like they show you in the Back to the Futures of the movies. When you change the timeline, then it all changes. The problem is, the question is, why do we still remember it the other way? Why does that happen? Of course, we'll never understand that. What I do is, my takeaway is this. The fact that it's happening, God is allowing it. You'll never find out how it's happening, who's doing it, or why. What you will know is God's allowing it. Why is he allowing it? Because he wants us to see the times that we're in. He wants us to wake up to these things. And it's a way to do it. And the reason that it happens in all the different places that we see it happening is because that's where people are existing, right? As we go back to, let me go back up here. As we go back to this story, people are existing in a virtual world more and more. So, of course, the music's changing, the movies change, the TV shows change. If you're not there, maybe you're outside of nature. And bananas now grow upside down. And they're spelled as a repeating letter. There's not a second N in there that we used to remember. So there's like a lot of things changing. For me, when we used to pick blackberries, we used to have to really reach in and scratch ourselves and get. Now they all grow right at the end. It's so easy. Last year when we picked blackberries, it was plop, plop, plop. It was all out. So I don't know. To me, that was a change too. I've seen people that have talked about trees that showed up around their yard, or an alley that used to not be there is there now. And the first Mandela effect video that I saw, where it was a personal one, it wasn't about Curious George's tale or something like that, was a lady, and I still talk about this. She was saying how the Shell sign, it freaked her out because it had changed, and she was in front of a gas station. And I remember, unfortunately, I was laughing at her because, I thought she had lost it. But now I understand that it happens on a personal level. And those are the ones that not only really rock your world, but they help you solidify and understand that there is a supernatural, whatever aspect to this world that they never told you about. And so while people are locking themselves deeper into the matrix, those of us that have eyes to see, or at least are inquisitive enough to look into it, are starting to see these interesting things and these weird changes that don't make any sense. So, so let's get out of this kiss. And, I thought this was cool for those of you, and, we've got the holiday season coming up. Oh, what happened? Let's try again. It's another quality show by the City Fan Man crew. Shoot. Let's try this again. It's not going to work. There we go.
You gonna get your photo taken?
Imagine taking it down to see. There's something going on. There's someone get the cue, people. There's something happening here. I don't think these kids are safe. Someone needs to help. Okay. What's next? Oh, did you guys all see there was another G Summit? This is where they get together and they wring their hands and they spend your money and they laugh at you and tell you need to eat bugs and own nothing. And then, this I thought was great. So here, this was the menu. So you had a selection of wines and sparkling waters and soft drinks and juices and coffee and tea and herbs. And then you had, what the heck is this? Where's Shampoo when you need them? Canapes? Canopies? Hors d'oeuvres? I know that's hors d'oeuvres, but I don't know, canapes. And then cold and hot appetizers like seafood, salad, soups. And then they just say local, regional cuisine, and then veg. It just goes on and on with the food that they had. You can look through all this and what they're spending. And then in addition to that, like, where was it? Do I have that picture? Oh, did I lose it? No, maybe it's in the photos. Let me grab that. I think it's here. Clickety click. Where is it? Where'd you all go? It's not that one. I already lost it. Well, we'll just bring it up again. That's what we'll do. Like bad shellfish. Let's bring this up again. Oh, I even have a thing for that. Like bad shellfish. Let's bring this up again. Let's see. Let's try dinner. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Oh, but Daily Mail doesn't let you look at it. I don't want your ads. We'll just look at it this way. Okay, so we'll go here, clickety click. Yeah, look at that. That's the one they did in Italy. Was it a couple years ago? I mean, look at this. You think these people? You think you can vote your way into what you want done in the world? These are the people in charge. Do you think they have anything in common with us at all? No. I wish I could see one of those larger. but you get the idea. Look at this place. And I remember when who was it? It might have been Mitt Romney, I think, was running for president, and they had video of him going to a grocery store, and he couldn't even figure out how to open the doors because he'd never set foot in one. These people they've never gone grocery shopping unless it's for a staged photo op. They don't know your life. They don't give two craps about us and what we do. They're just going to sit here. They're going to laugh at us, and they're going to do their agenda. And on a local level, yeah, you can make a difference. But once you get past, I'd say, a state level, you're not voting anyone in. They put in who they want. And regardless who's in there, good cop, bad cop, they push their agenda however they want it to go. And so what you have to do is realize that's going to happen and navigate around it and find joy in your life. Because it doesn't matter which puppet they put in front of you. It's all the same machine. If it is a battle of spiritual and God and Satan, this is Satan's little trapped world, matrix. How about that? It's Satan's matrix that we exist within God's world. And so you have to break out of the matrix, as Neo tried to teach us, and see God's world outside of it and not get caught up in all this. Because all this is going to do is just get you mad and angry and write mean things to each other on Facebook or wherever the social media is. And it's all a joke. I mean, this is this was the European Trump, and don't they have another one in some other country that's coming out? And it's the same guy. And they fist bump and elbow bump. Meanwhile, they laugh at you. But hey, you can't have fear. You can't worry about it. You can't change this. You can't stop this. What can you do, the person listening right now, to stop this? You can't. God can. And he will eventually when it's time. But we have to be patient. We have to wait. It's tough. It's really difficult. But there's a definite gift at the end for those of us that not only wade through it, but also help others figure this out. Again, that's the whole reason I do this show, is I'm trying to pass on the information that, I'm still sharing. You see me clicking through these, what we're going to talk about. Let's see. We'll go here. Let's see. Let me get rid of this. You guys all doing good? Oh my gosh. I still haven't even got to the main issue of the show. There's been going on at almost 2 hours. So, well, we'll keep going, right? Okay. And we have, it keeps bouncing up and down. We're close to 140 people here. Please, if you haven't already, if you're enjoying the show, like, share, subscribe. And there's links in there if you feel like sending donations my way. Appreciate that. I checked my mailbox today, and my pen pal had not written me. Just saying. But there's also places you can reach me through snail mail. And if you have questions or things that I need to talk about on this show, or something information that I got wrong, let me know. Please email me and let me know. ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. Okay, so let's see. Well, let me get this crick out of my neck. Where do we want to start? I think we'll get rid of. Yeah, we'll get rid of it. I don't know. We can keep that. We can show it really fast. And okay, we covered that. That's good. Okay, let's go back in here. Clickety click. Do. Whoa. All right. So I think we were.
Fire's going.
Excellent. So there's this thing. Another thing I can't explain. Lots of theories on it.
But the ancient handbag, as it is now known, has quickly become a historical enigma.
They're everywhere.
Scholars around
Doesn't matter what culture you
that
found.
each ancient civilization developed independently, with little to no connection with each other. Yet the ancient handbag symbol has now been discovered in almost all ancient cultures. It first appears at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, which dates back to 11,600 years ago. It also shows up in Mesopotamia, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, and the Balkans. But strangely, despite the vast Atlantic Ocean and over 7,000 miles between them, the ancient handbag symbol appears in the Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Toltec, the Maya, and even the Olmec. Some people believe that this symbol represents a transference or handing down of ancient knowledge. Some even believe this could be a symbolic representation of some form of ancient technology.
So once again, like he said, we don't know. And then I don't know if you noticed, he talked about something that I came across that's been blowing my mind since, is they're no longer the Mayans. They've lost their N. It's the Mayas. So it's incorrect now to say Mayan people. They were always the Mayas. That was a weird one. But there's just so many things in history that they don't tell us what's happening. And then you put on a white coat and they say science says this and science says that. They've told us that we live with a molten core and they've only gone down 8 miles. And yet now they're saying the Earth's surface is leaking water in the core. None of that makes any sense to me. I mean, at some point, wouldn't the water just be steamed away? How can it leak into the core? I thought that's supposed to be like the sun or something in there. Like their own lies don't even make any sense. But you also have to believe this if you're going to think that there's no mountains that have been melted, that they're all grown crystals, and you believe in tectonic plate movements. You still have to be on this ball scenario of some sort. You got to believe that there's molten core. And where'd you get that information? From the same people that said you're on a ball flying through space. You're going to pick and choose the information you take from a liar? I'm not. You have no proof of this. It's a theory. Until you can prove it, I can't prove my side, but I have scripture to back mine up, and you're just making up shit at this point. As far as I'm concerned, you don't know what happened 8 billion years ago or whatever. You don't know what's at the depth of the core of the Tootsie Pop if you've never even gone past 8 miles still. And now you're going to tell me that the scientists are always talking. They never say who it is. It's like 4 out of 5 dentists like you to put in fluoride in your toothpaste. First of all, I'd like to talk to the 5th dentist, but apparently that guy's never been heard of since. So the 4 they talk to, they say, go ahead, drink up, Johnny, right? It comes from the recycling plant from the aluminum, but hey, it's good for you. So, and remember, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just play a doctor on TV. Where is it? Okay? So don't listen to me. Do your own research or whatever you're supposed to say anymore. But now they're telling me, the scientists are now saying, the magnetic field might flip soon, upending climate and technology. So now they're talking about an event that's never happened in human history that we know of. I mean, maybe they can pretend and tell you that it happened 10 billion years ago, prove them wrong. It's like arguing with a 10-year-old. You can't. And so now they're going to tell you this, another catastrophe. Be worried. Watch out. Just look out. Everything's scary. The planet's now turning the magnetic field upside down. I remember back in the day, the Australians, they weren't allowed to go to the beach because they had used too much hairspray and the ozone layer had opened a hole. What happened to that? No one seems to care about that anymore. Here's another thing to be scared of. There's a mysterious dog virus in Colorado. What is this? Virus going around affecting dogs nationwide. They say it relates to flu or kennel cough. What to look for? Sneezing, coughing, and goopy eyes. If you're worried, stay away from dog parks, pet stores, grooming, boarding facilities, basically anywhere you would take your dog. So now they want to lock down your dog. And then another article, they basically want you to get rid of them because they're causing too much pollution in the stratosphere and it's killing us all, right? Everyone needs to be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. Yet the book that I keep telling you to look at, excuse me, can I get more coffee if anyone's down there? God says in the book I keep telling you to look at, I think more than anything, don't be afraid. He says fear him, but that's like a good parent, right? If you got a child and he's going to go run in the street and there's cars, You're going to stop him, maybe give him a lecture, a little swaddle on the butt or something. That's kind of where I see God. He's going to give us the information, tell us don't do it. But if we do it, it's not that we're necessarily getting wrath, but we're asking God, hey, I want to do this on my own without your help. I don't want you around. And just like Job, read that book. It's a great book. Satan can touch you if God lets go of you. And so if you insert yourself into a situation that you tempt fate, as they say, well, then things happen. So, but he says, don't be worried about this and continue to take your dog where you need to. That's what God says. So, okay, what's next? I'm not even going to talk about it, but you can look this up and check out page 7 of this report. And they're already seeing a lot of this in doctors' offices and stuff, this type of pneumonia. So I find it interesting that it is on their page 7. So enough of that. This was sent to me by Melanie. Melanie, it's all your fault. But check this out. And they've done this out here. There's a free app you can get on your mind control device. And you can see the planes if you hear one. And it can tell you what the plane is. Sometimes if it's military, a lot of times it's like, there's no plane. And but I've seen them do this before. I've seen them do these weird circles and stuff. It's interesting. So I don't know what's going on in San Francisco. I rarely do. It constantly changes. And yeah, so I don't know what's happening, but I blame Melanie. Okay, what's next? So yeah, the people that are questioning what's going on in the world and don't believe in God. I played this, but I'm going to play it again because I think it's really well done.
think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist?
Nothing.
Nothing. That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist. So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty goddamn magical fucking nothing, you guys. And ask the nothing people, what happens when you die? They'll tell you, nothing. You go into nothing. I'm like, you mean you merge back with your creator? That's heaven, bitch.
Love it. Love it. So, and then there's a whole other thing that's going on. My son sent me or talked to me about this. Here, let me stop here. Let me find this photo or image or photo. Okay, it's in this one. There it is. Okay. So where'd you guys go? You're over here. Oh, I still got that banner going. Sorry, everyone. Okay. So we're going to click here. We're going to click here. Let's see. Go over here. Okay. All right. I'm getting there. Peeps. There it is. Okay. So I think you can see that. So they were talking about Mary and Mother Mary and all this. And the Catholic religion, and again, I'm not religious. I've found spirituality and I found God, but I'm not religious. And so when I looked into all the religions, they're all, to me, they're all corrupt. Everyone that's a large organized religion. Everyone! they've corrupted. I've shown it before, and so we can go over all the different ones. But for right now, let's concentrate on this thing. This is a Catholic thing. And so what do? First of all, you go to a man and you ask for forgiveness, right? You're supposed to go to a priest and confess your sins instead of Jesus. See, they're doing it wrong already. In addition to that, I see why Jesus flipped the tables over back in his day. So then in addition to that, what do they tell you? They tell you things like, say, 10 Hail Marys, which to me was always a football throw. But no, I get it. It was before the football. There was this prayer. And you got, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. All right, I'm on board with that, because for what she did and her position in life, I would agree. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. I'm on board with both of that. I'm cool with that. It's not in the Bible, but hey, it sounds good so far. Then, this is where we get in the questionable area. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now at the hour of our death. Amen. Now, hold the phone here. You're supposed to be talking to God through Jesus. You're not supposed to be praying to Mary. You've opened yourself up again to another idol. Remember, we talked about this. Don't have any idols, including Mary. And there's an entire, let's see if I can do this properly. There's an entire group of, it's that one. There's an entire group of people that they believe in this. And when I used to sell jewelry, the saints were our most popular things, the little medals, and Mary, the miraculous Mary, was the number one seller. And after that was St. Christopher, because he covered you in travel, and after that it didn't matter so much. But there's a whole thing talking about the biblical defense and why you should pray to Mary. And again, you're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to pray to Mary. God even said so. When they started to try to pray to Jesus when he showed up, he told them to stop. He was there to save us and to explain to us how this all works. See, the way I see it is, the way I had the beginning of the thumbnail, where it had, where'd it go? It's not on here. Usually it's behind me. There. Oh, you can't see it anyways. But here, I'll take myself up. Okay, so you got three things the way I see it. There's only been 3 worldwide, earthwide resets that I believe. You have the flood, which everyone talks about. Doesn't matter what culture, there was a flood. So that would be the first, quote, reset. The next large worldwide, earthwide reset would be Revelation, and that would be done with fire. Hence why I can see where we have some things that are submerged underwater from the flood and some things that have been melted from Revelation. That's the way I see it. My channel, this is the way I see it. And then the last one, of course, is going to be the final judgment day. So that would put us at the very end of the book, I don't even know if I have the clip anymore, right in the little season, pizza, of Satan, where he deceives the world. It's all in Revelation. I think it starts around Revelation 1920, where he gets loosed for a short season. That would have had after Revelation and the millennial reign of Christ, which is why I believe you can find some of these incredible buildings back in the day, and also some incredible buildings that have no plumbing. And if you read the scriptures, when Christ comes down for his 1,000-year reign on earth, they're upgraded bodies. They wouldn't need bathrooms. Then after that, they're hidden somewhere we're not allowed to go. Satan's loosed again. The rest of us, the remnant, the ones that didn't have the oil lamps ready or whatever, the ones that weren't around to see what went down, here we are. We live in this matrix world that we're being deceived. But in the end, the book's going to end and everyone gets judged all at once. And so I'm just here to encourage you, saying, my eyes have been open, and this is the times that we find ourselves in. I wouldn't have listened to myself either a few years ago. That's all I'm saying. If you want to dismiss the things I'm saying, that's fine. I would have done it too. But there's a reason that I'm here talking to you tonight. There's a reason you're listening if you don't believe everything I'm saying. So, having said that, we need this.
This week in Scary Space News.
All right. So here we go with science again. They found a planet that shouldn't exist. I mean, science. So they tell you a theory, and then they find an example of something else, and they have to change their theory. And yet we're still going off the same theories that we had back in the day. It's fascinating to me. Certain theories we take and certain theories we get rid of. Anything that someone else questions the narrative, that theory we can't listen to. Got to scream and yell at him and call him a retard. And this one is just beautiful. Of course, I had to cover this. But NASA and Japan are set to launch the world's first wooden satellite. Why? I like how they put that in there. I agree. Why? So they make their space junk biodegradable. Because we've been discussing all this stuff's flying around out there, never to be, and why it doesn't crash into anything. Like Sandra Bullock couldn't even take the ISS around at once without crashing into stuff. And that thing's been up there and all this stuff flies around, circles, and nothing ever happens. I even reported where they had and it wasn't Andy Griffith, but they stole the idea from him. They had a thing up there that was capturing space junk. And guess what happened? It got pummeled with space junk and it stopped working, supposedly, allegedly. Meanwhile, they're going to make them out of wood because they're biodegradable by the exposure to the intense cosmic rays. So, anyways, my goodness. Moving on. Scary Space News is just ridiculous space news. And from my Australian friends, good eye. Did I play my Australian thing? Maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to do that.
Crikey! It's news for Australians, Mike. Good eye. Here's your news. Straight from Australia. We once were a prison colony, and now we got separated into many colonies. I've lost my accent. Crikey! Those look melted us. Oh. Wow. You'll have to learn not only to drive on the wrong side of the road, but upside down. Bonza.
I realize I have to redo the audio on that, but it's too much of a hassle. So you just keep with the bad audio filmed in my bathroom. That's where I get the good echo sound. But yeah, the Australian agency is now making a rover to go off to go to the moon with NASA. Seriously, you guys, for reals? And I know you didn't do it either, Fishbowl Media, but come on. A roofer? That's the best you could do? Like, we suck at naming things over here at NASA, I believe, unless it's named after some Greek god of something, destruction. But now you guys got the roofer. Just fantastic. Okay. And this one, come on. This is supposedly the surface of Comet 67P. A Jupiter family comet originally from the Kuiper Belt? They just make this shit up. Filmed by the Rosetta Space Probe. Okay. So I saw that and I was like, this looks very familiar. And then I remembered where I'd seen it. Saw it. Was here. it's Santa Claus Goes to Town, right? It's the same scene. I think so. And then there's a commercial. Why is there a commercial? There's always a commercial. Stop sharing. Okay. Get your commercial over with and we'll deal with this. Skip. Okay. I'm telling you now, it's all messed up my area. Where'd it go? Okay. Stupid commercials. I see what you guys say. Okay. Where'd you go? Go back here. Clickety click. Go here and here. Yeah. Totally ruined the whole presentation. Stupid commercials. Where'd it go? Yeah. Okay. So see, you got this. And I think it looks very similar to this from this Santa Claus Comes to Town movie. These claymation cartoons, whatever. Where'd it go? It's this scene. There. This is with the Hitler guy or whatever he is. Oh, you can't even say that word. You got to watch out. But see, he's, let's see. Let's see. Can we make this bigger? That's what she said. Okay. I don't know why it's not there. See? You got that, right? And then compared to this, same place. Just saying. Anyways, enough of that. That was a long way to go for that joke. And there we go. What's this? Oh, about trees and how you... Because there's some people that tell you can't even say that things look like fossilized trees. They laugh at you for that. And yet there are fossilized and petrified trees. And so you're allowed to say that, you know, these things exist, but and they show you supposedly, allegedly, how things like the Yellowstone petrified forest came about. But again, you got to buy into this whole thing that's millions of years old and all that, which I'm not buying into anymore. You can't prove that. God doesn't say it's that old. I think we're in like 6,000 years, 5,000 years, somewhere in there, in my mind. And they don't explain how they happened, you know? What cataclysmic events that would create this constant erosion and building upon the other trees. And I read up on it. It's kind of fascinating stuff, but you got to take the time to do it. And so if there was some catastrophic event, what was it? What created it? Because the trees that are being fossilized in Spirit Lake, where Mount St. Helens blew up, aren't taking millions of years. They're starting to happen right now. And so it's a really fascinating subject. But you're allowed to say that there are petrified trees because science tells you. But God forbid you should look at something like the Devil's Tower and possibly suggest it might be the same idea that, where is it? That it could be a tree stump. I mean, God forbid you potentially say this. They get all mad at you and call you a retard. And yet when you actually look at the science, so let's see. Let's see if it did. Oh, here we go. You're on your ball, Earth. Your magma's coming up from the center of the ball. Figure one theory, 50 million years ago, this happened. Figure two theory, 50 million years ago, this happened with the magma. How about the volcanic plug theory? You want that one instead? Or how about the Mardai-Drami theory, however you say it? There's so many damn theories. But yet the one that you refuse to look at is maybe, just like they show you in Avatar, truth in movies, lies in news, that maybe this was a giant tree that was cut down. When you read about the giants in the Bible, the Amorites at one point, God says they were tall as cedar trees. Now, what we know as a cedar tree today, maybe that wasn't the cedar tree back in the day. Because if you understand where I believe we're existing, if you've already had a flood wiping out the earth, And then you had Revelation wiping out things, although God says he's not going to touch the plants and stuff, I guess. But still, the destruction that happened, maybe from the giants that were there in the day and what they were destroying, maybe there were these giant trees that we don't understand. And the growth that we see today, it's basically the saplings that have grown out of these giant trees. And when we look at a tree that's 300, 400 feet tall, maybe they were thousands of feet tall. You don't know. You can't prove your side any more than I can. I can use my eyes and I can see the things that are very similar to this. And the fact that science still doesn't understand how it formed. They have four theories here. Or you could go to the native story that there was a tribe of Indians traveling through and a little girl was lost and left behind. And she followed the trail and the people didn't catch up to her. And a giant, great big bear from behind was about to catch her. And she ran and prayed. She prayed. And as she prayed, then suddenly the ground around her lifted her up higher and higher. The bear tried to reach after her. It scratched and claws the size of the cliff. And it is said that the streaks and cracks running from the bottom to the top of the high rock were the claw marks of the huge bear which tried to reach the little girl. And he finally left, and the Great Spirit lifted the girl down, and she caught up with her people. And interesting, a lot of people talk about that this bear has a really long tail. And there's also stories about how bears apparently used to have this, and as a punishment from God or whatever they believe their creator is, they lost it. I think it even says it in here. But yeah, so this person even says, what if it was left over the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Who knows? Whoops, went too far. So before you just get angry and dismiss and call people retarded, remember that's what people do when you try to tell them that you don't think we live on a spinning ball. NASA lies to you. There's a firmament. Rockets don't go out into space. They go into the Bermuda Triangle. Provably so. They found all kinds of rockets and stuff down there. But that's how people respond to you when you try to present them that information. So as a truther or whatever we call yourself, why would you yell at people and try to not look into this? Encourage them to check into it and find information. Watch some of the channels and shows like Jana and Chapu, myself, that go over this subject matter. And maybe you change your mind. But screaming and yelling at each other, it's never changed anybody's mind as far as I'm concerned. So, all right, that's enough of that. What's this? Yeah, and I thought this was interesting too, because discussing Mount St. Helens, and you can see this evidence of that. Where is it? She says here, because she's saying that it's similar to what happened in the flood. You can kind of see it because there's a let's see if I have it here. Yeah, there's a thing called the Little Grand Canyon that formed after the eruption of Mount St. Helens, and they go through it and they find, very similar look to that you got from the Grand Canyon. See, I don't know if you guys or gals and couches all knew this, but there's a mini Grand Canyon in Mount St. Helens now that was formed by this cataclysmic event of this volcano exploding. And you get all this, the same look that you get that they tell us with the Grand Canyon. Only this all occurred in 1980 over a few periods of years. And so using this comparison, and then you go to, here, this is more Mount St. Helens. Let's see. And you can see it's very similar looks. Okay. And so using that idea, if you go to the actual Grand Canyon, I'm probably going to get a commercial. Yeah. All right. So let's stop sharing here for a second. All right. Why don't we look at this other one too? Just okay. So we're good on those two. So we'll come back to that. 222. Where'd you go? Let's get rid of that and that. Okay. All right. Now where'd you go? Okay. Clickety click. Go here. Go here. Okay. Now where was I? I think I was here. That's the little Grand Canyon. Here's the real Grand Canyon. And so I got rid of that. So yeah, it's 277 miles long, 18 miles wide at the widest, and more than a mile deep into its depths. And think about this. They're trying to tell you this went on over millions of years of erosion and stuff. Whereas if there was a cataclysmic event, say a flood, that would explain this. Or revelation could cause this. There's periods in there where God says he's going to split this this mountain right at his feet. And so the fact that this river that about 100 meters wide carved this magnificent canyon, even though the Mississippi and the Amazon, they're bigger, this one was able to carve look at this, the depth and the distance behind him. And they're going to say, where is it? Yeah, and of course they always have to put things to ancient gods, right? Look at that. The oldest rocks at the bottom are named after the Hindu god Vishnu. Sure, just because you want to mock God, and if Jen was here, or Shapu, you're getting very brickish looking in here. Just saying. So, but yeah. So according to what they said, science is that erosion caused this giant mountain to then go upside down. And then all of a sudden, 80 million years ago, this kept falling and rising and falling and rising. And each time it did it, that's how you find shale limestone, how you find shells and stuff. And that's what caused this. It'd fill in with water and then it would go away. Fill in with water, then it'd go away. That's what they're telling you. That's what's happening, they said. That's what they say happened. And they're going to tell you this all happened millions of years ago with no proof, no evidence whatsoever. They're just making it up. And they show you how it eventually chipped away the sides that created it so wide. And that's their story. Whereas what I see is evidence of God doing a cataclysmic event as described in the Bible. If it wasn't the original flood, which would make sense, then maybe something happened through revelation or something else, because it's talked about that kind of stuff. And where is it? This is about the day of the Lord. And his feet, this is Jesus, shall stand on that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west. And there shall be a great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove towards the north, and half towards the south. Sounds very similar. This was a prophet. He saw things in the future. That sounds like what I just looked at. And what is this one? Oh, I threw this one in here because if you read Amos, he's another guy that told you prophets and stuff. Besides giant resets, which I think, again, I believe in only 3. That's one of God's favorite numbers, apparently, or whatever, this matrix's favorite number. But in Amos, he talks about all of the individual cities that have basically become like Sodom and Gomorrah, have done such a horrible transgressions that they're going to get some punishment. They're going to have to He's got to shake, rattle, and roll that city to wake them up to stop doing what they're doing. And so like here, I mean, it says for 3 transgressions of Damascus and for 4, I'm not going to turn away the punishment. And he says what they've done. And then how about this one right here? It says for 3 transgressions of Gaza and for 4, I will not turn away their punishment, because they carried away captive the whole captivity and delivered them to Eden. He'll send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the places thereof. And he goes through all these different cities. Now, it doesn't say if each one of these happened at the same time or if they happened over periods of time. I don't know. I'm just reporting what is being said here. There's no way I can prove the dates and stuff. The God in the Bible, they talk about things past, present, and future because that's how God exists. So how about this one? The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with great noise. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. You don't even know what that is. We don't. It's like saying $1 billion. You don't even know what that is. You're going to tell me what fervent heat is? Fervent heat is so hot that the earth and also the works therein shall be burnt up. That's how hot it is. Do you know how hot it is to melt earth? You don't. God does. So don't sit there and yell and say, rude things, because you don't understand how a brick can melt or a building can melt, because you're not supposed to. Read the book of Job. You haven't yet. I know you haven't. Read, understand it. There's a whole passage where God just gives Job a hard time. He's like, you don't know how anything works. And you can tell me where the wind goes. If you can tell me how I laid the foundations of the earth, you can't even explain how a seed, a mustard seed, creates life of a gigantic plant. You can't even explain how that works, how inside a seed it can lay dormant and create life out of that. It's that old the joke that I've told, where the scientist is going to have a battle with God, and he's like, hey, we figured out how to make humans just like you. And God said, fine, let's do it. So he takes earth, dirt, and he breathes life into it, and he makes man. And the scientist says, all right, we're going to do that too. And God says, fine, get your own dirt, because he created the earth. They're just trying to work off of what he's already created. And so before you try to figure out with your small little minds, including myself, how fervent heat can melt earth, you won't ever know. Read Job. How about this? Is not my word as a fire, saith the Lord, and a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? Remember, this entire place got spoken into existence. God's voice is still reverberating to this day and everything in it. That's why we're doing this. And when Jesus comes back in Revelations, it's with a sword, not in his hand, out of his mouth. Come on, people, wake up. He tells you that his word can melt mountains. Do you know how to do that? No, because you're not God. And I don't care how long you study, you'll never be him. That's straight up Satanism. And the mountains shall be molten under him, and the valley shall be cleft as wax before the fire. That's Micah 1:4. You probably didn't even know Micah exists in the Bible. How about this one? Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax like an old garment. And they that dwell in there shall die in like manner, but my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. And that's a beautiful part right there, because he's saying that this judgment's not just coming to people, it's to the whole earth. But there's one way to get out of it, and that's to find God through Jesus. So that's why I'm here. As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace and blow upon it to melt it, so will I gather you in my anger and my fury and leave you there and melt you. That one sounds really bad. You don't want to get on the side of God when he's pissed off. I'm telling you, it's no bueno, Steve says. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Lord, just as his presence. Boom, baby, melt. Boom, baby. And the Lord God of hosts, he touched the land, it shall melt. I mean, how many more do I need to showcase, to show you that he says it all the time, that he can do it? The mountains quake at him, the hills melt. The earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein. That's Nahum. You didn't even know that existed in the Bible either, I guarantee it. Then you got Peter. Look for hastings in the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens begin heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Again, something you don't understand, something I don't understand, something Job didn't understand. And this is my favorite part, if you read Job, is when God gives him a smackdown because Job and his friends are trying to figure out what's going on. And he's like, I mean, he goes through these things, you know? Can you number the time when the wild goats of the rock bring forth? Or, I mean, he asks him all these questions you don't even know. You'll never know. And of course, unicorns now in the Bible, but in any case, it used to be an ox, I believe. But anyways, just go read through this and he asks you about behemoth and stuff. You don't know anything. You don't understand any of this stuff. So that's my whole point. Where's my guy? Let's get out of here for a second. That's my whole point. As we say, Juan Truth,
there are no experts.
There aren't. We don't. All we can do is keep going through the information that we're finding and make our ideas from there. And I believe that's where the Holy Spirit comes in and helps you. It helps you find the pathways to understand what we're dealing with. And I'm already 2.5 hours in, but here, let's go over here. Tartarus. So Tartarus is actually, in Greek mythology, talked about as Hades. It's like a place where supposedly the fallen angels went, and it's not a good place. So why wouldn't it, in my mind, why wouldn't you take those gorgeous buildings that we're seeing that possibly maybe were built in a millennial reign of Christ? I don't know. And call it Tartaria, which is a place in shale because we're in this upside down world that we live in. I don't know. Not that I'm against the name, just like the Mandela effect. It's stuck. And now if you want people to look into your information, you have to put Tartaria on there somewhere. But the only thing most people know about it is there's a sauce called tartar sauce. And a weaving pattern. And a weaving pattern. Excuse me. Oh my God, that's funny. But that's all we know about it. And it's a word that has been used to describe these ancient buildings that we don't understand how they were built. And I just remembered the one I was thinking of. It's this one. Wait, did I stop? Yeah, it's this one. Is the where'd it go? Clickety click. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I'm not saying everything that I'm seeing was millennial reign. I believe there were buildings. Well, it makes sense that they were building these crazy buildings back before the flood. I don't believe Noah and all those families and stuff were living in these little mud huts. Maybe Noah's family, but I know a lot of the society in these like Babylon kind of things. I think that a lot of these structures, some of them were built back in that day somehow. Through technology, maybe fallen angel technology, and that's why God wiped a lot of that out. I don't know. I can't prove my theory, but you can't prove yours either. So what I did want to show you was this. This is out here in Washington, the Capitol building. I think John Levi did a thing on this. Where'd it go? But it's this crazy building that they built in just like a year. That's why I can't do this when I'm trying to do it live. Okay. So we'll stop that. Where'd it go? Maybe I have it here. Well, this is pretty good. That's a good picture there. Let's do that. We'll grab this. Clickety click. I mean, look at these things. It's nuts. Think that we had the technology to build this. I can't even get the right picture that I want. But and most of these buildings they say are founded, and they look the same, a lot of them all over the world. So we don't know how they did it. We still can't do this to this day. And these buildings, they stand around the test of time. Look at all the ones in the World's Fair that they said that they had to tear down. Why? These buildings never go away unless we destroy them. And so I think sometimes it's too much of a window to our past of our actual hidden history. And so they have to destroy them. They'll have a war over there or something. They'll decide to do something to get that going. But I just believe that's where that word has been thrown onto it, like the Mandela effect word got thrown on to that one. That's where I see Tartaria. But, these old buildings and stuff, the Prudential building that they had to demolish. Look at this. Why would you build this crazy structure? And look, the little horses. So how'd you get all this up there? What kind of pulley system did you have with this horse? And I'm putting this out there again, I still haven't had anyone find one. Show me a picture of a horse on a higher level doing pulley system and stuff. The horses can't go up very well because they have trouble coming down. So a lot of times they won't use them to do stuff like this. So how did you get all this? How did you get this way up here? You're telling me humans? And I don't know. You can say whatever you want, but what was the point of building this building when you haven't even finished the road? It's dirt. Why are you building this? For what reason? The home office building of the Prudential Insurance Company in Newark, New Jersey. They built that. They probably took every person that is around in that city to build it, and every dollar that Prudential had to put it together. And then, of course, they took it down, right? Of course. Look at that. And this was a parade, so you had a lot of people. But why are you building? Besides this, look at the buildings behind it. They all look like castles. Like a castle. There's a banana. Voynich. Look at that. And some of these, the brickwork, the Legos and stuff is amazing. And then you can see they go below the street level. You have doors and windows and archways that just end. And there's the street level. We don't know where ground level is anymore. A lot of these old story narratives, the city burned and they covered it up and built a new one on top of it. Does that make any sense? Come on, wake up your inner child and say that doesn't make sense. There's cities that they say they found that were left. Why would you leave a city and then have it discovered 100 years later? What's wrong with the city? It doesn't make any sense. So let's go into this. Pangaea. This is what you have to believe if you don't want to listen to someone talking the Bible. You have to believe in Pangaea. What's Pangaea? Well, 300 to 200 million years ago, we're just throwing that number out there. It could be off 100 million years, but hey, this is science. The continent we now know as North America was with South Africa and Europe. And so they all one big mush called Pangaea, give or take 100 million years. And so there you go. So 255 million years ago, you look like this. Then 360, you look like this. And then, you can, what million years do you want to look at? You want to look at 152 million years ago? Or, it's laughable. It's laughable. And so now they're showing you what they think it's going to look like. Okay. In addition to that, how do you get Pangaea? Oh, look at that. We're stuck back on the molten core. So you're back on your ball with the inner core and the outer core and so forth, because you need the crusts in order to create your earthquakes, to create this system to where it goes from this to spread out like that. And so where did we get this theory of Pangaea? Well, here we go. Alfred Wegener And where'd it go? He is he's the originator of the scientific theory. Let's see. Where'd he go? Here we go. He's a German climatologist, geologist, geophysicist, meteorologist, and a polar researcher. Hail Alfred. So he's the one that came up with this. And of course, what does it mean? Mother Earth. You know, they always throw the same stuff in here again. And so he comes up with Pangaea. And I don't know, what year was this? Does it say in the 20s, I guess? And so that's what we've been living with ever since. And that's how they say all these animals came across, this, that, and the other. And the problem with their idea of Pangaea, let's see. Let me get rid of this and this and that guy. The problem with Pangaea, his theory, it had to have been before 1910 because let's see. Although now accepted, the theory of continental drift was rejected for many years, with evidence of favor considered insufficient. One problem is that a plausible driving force was missing. A second was the estimation of speed of the motion was implausibly high. And furthermore, he was treated less serious because he was not a geologist. Even today, the details of the forces propelling the plates are poorly understood. So in other words, they still don't know why, if Pangaea is real, why it happened. They don't see a force to create this scenario. Or you can go to the scriptures that I was reading you, where God talks about all that stuff. Is it this one? No. But we just covered all that. Where he one point stamps on a mountain and it splits, and there's other parts of the Bible where it says that. So what I'd like to continue on is the theory, if Pangaea they don't even understand. Let's continue from here. We'll cover that in a second. Yeah. So in this passage, Isaiah chapter 13, down here at the end, he's talking about what happens when God's doing all his, stuff. And he says, "And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch their tent there, or the shepherds make their fold. Just wild beasts of the deserts," and so forth. Okay? What if, because I keep saying, I think we're kind of out of Africa. I believe that's a hint. I think that maybe originally, like I have this book that shows Africa as center of north. So let's say Eden was somewhere in this area. The area that everyone fights over now, and the area that they say Babylon is in now, well, according to the new map, it's somewhere over here, I believe. Iraq and all this stuff, and here's Jerusalem, and this is the area that we all fight, right? Or they all claim and they all fight. But if you go back into the Pangaea idea, it's right here, right? And that is this area of Africa, go with me on this, called the Sahara. And there's been new information in the last few years that there's a whole bunch of stuff underneath the Sahara. So here's a whole bunch of, let's see, beneath the sands of the Sahara, they've discovered the evidence of prehistoric megalake formed 250,000 years ago. In addition to that, It was a tropical area as little as 6,000 years ago. So I present to you what potential event that could have happened to take the beautiful Sahara, which was tropical and beautiful and lovely and wonderful and had a lake and all this stuff, and bury it in sand so that, I don't know, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch. It sounds very similar to me. Just saying. My smart pipe. Okay. How's my cat? Is she here? Oh, how's my chat? Hi, everyone. I'll check on the chat. I'm almost done with this little thing. And then, yeah. Because, see, you can see this is where they say Babylon, supposed to be in somewhere in this area. So, just saying, I think that's quite possibly the issue that we have, is that this could be the area that God was talking about, where Babylon was. They say it's now over here, but according to Pangaea, it could have even been in here. And that would make sense, because that's the area God's talking about. In my theory, my idea. So, all right, let's get out of that. Man, I've had the coffees tonight. And it is coffee in here. Okay, let me get rid of this. Maybe my computer will run a little bit better now that I get rid of all those tabs. And, but I did want that one. Oh, shoot, or I'll get it. We'll find that one again. Let's see, get rid of that. Wow, we covered all those. Okay. Let me bring that one back. The one that I just killed by accident. It's here. And where'd you go? Am I going to find it? Maybe not. Maybe so. Hang on, people. I thought it was important. Maybe it's not. Oh, here. There we go. I found it. See? Don't fret. No panicking. Perfect time to panic. Is that what Woody says? Okay. There. Why do I think that we're in the very end of the Bible? And why Jesus? I believe, personally, I know there's a name for it. I forget what it's called. But I believe he's already come back, cleaned house, and now we're waiting for the final judgment, the last great reset, is because all these instances where Jesus is standing in a room talking to live people saying, there shall be no sign given unto this generation. Where is it? Verily, and when he says verily, he wants you to really listen. Verily, I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. Verily, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all is fulfilled. This generation shall, on and on and on. He tells you, he's talking to a group of people. And for as Jonas was the sign of the Ninevites, so shall be the Son of Man to this generation. So I believe this all happened, because when he says that he's going to come back and none of this will happen until before this generation passes away, all this is going to happen. To me, that shows it right there in my mind. And I still have tabs here. All right, let me get through the tabs and then we'll talk to you all, see what's going on. Because I don't want to bring these out anymore. I've been using these for so long. The pit down man. This is another way I wanted to show this. Like we were discussing the debates. They're just straw man arguments where they make up their own debate and then they fight over it and then call themselves winners or losers. The pit down man was a famous one. They wanted you to know about this, where they even says the pit down man was a philanthropical logical fraud in which bone fragments were presented as remains of an early human, and it was a fraud. And it goes down in history as a fraud. Okay. Meanwhile, They told me this was real, Lucy. And to this day, like if you look at this article, it just talks about where it's a bunch of pieces. It doesn't say it's a fraud. And yet, first of all, from this, you get, where'd she go? Is she on here? Yeah, you get this. This is like the famous picture, although I don't know maybe her breasts being that prominent anymore, but that's what we saw as Lucy, not ever knowing it came from this. And then when you deep dive into Lucy, they had baboon bones in here. So they've proven this isn't a missing link. And yet, it's still not marked as a fraud, just like the other one is. It's the same thing with dinosaur bones. You go to the museum, they got like 6 bones. They look like pieces like this in a drawer. And then they make a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the auditorium out of plastic or some kind of fossilized looking type of acrylic bones. And you say you saw a dinosaur, but you didn't. You just saw their made up thing that they put up. Look into it if you don't know what I'm talking about. The bones are all fake in those museums. Dinosaurs. It just pushes the millions and billions of year narrative they need to have their spinning ball, to have their mountains growing and crystals growing out of the ground, to have the erosion to form the Grand Canyon, to prove they're flying through space in a spinning ball, to prove evolution. It's all one big juxtaposed lie. That's the idea. You got to understand. The reason it's so it works so well is people can't grasp that it's all one big lie. We're living in Satan's matrix. It's all one big lie. You've got to see through it. You got to read into it. And the signs are there. These are all news articles within that same world that tells you you're being lied to. And since we have free will, God-given free will, we have to give it away by allowing ourselves to be deceived. When the right hand tells you Lucy's a lie and the left hand tells you she's in your textbooks, or whichever hand you want to choose, I don't care. You have to choose to be deceived. You have to pretend to be Cypher in the Matrix. When he eats that steak, he makes it look so good. And it doesn't exist, but he doesn't care because he wants to live in that world. He wants his fake steak. He wants his fake Lucy. He wants his fake dinosaurs. Voynich, if he's here, could explain everything, but he won't. And if you guys don't know what that is, look into this. To this day, here's another thing science doesn't know. There's this book, this manuscript that was written by Voy. He's in here usually creeping around the chats. It's in a language nobody knows, nobody understands. It's got pictures of plants that no one's ever seen. And it's a definite language. And to this day, they can't translate it. So that's interesting. Science. Can't figure out a book from Voynich's garage. What's this? Or explain to me how crows can mimic human voices. Because I say there's some birds that are actually angels, guys. Hey. What?
Here.
Come here.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, I will. Talking to a bird.
Come on.
I'm coming.
It's a good boy.
Did he say click your... That's funny. I didn't know he said that in there.
It's a good boy.
Oh, I got to keep that drop. But isn't that something? All right. What's next? Oh, yeah. And just to show you how they poison us. How about this? Here's rice. Ingredient, jasmine rice. Warning, cancer and reproduction harm. In rice. In rice, people. Just saying. I'm not saying it. They are. Okay, what's next? Is that it? I thought this was funny. This door decoration makes them think there's someone standing out there. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like there's a head right there. It's kind of creepy. Oh, and in the spirit of the holidays, watch out for violent reindeer that don't like to be mocked on your lawn. Just saying. I guess they didn't let Rudolph play with the reindeer games, and he took it out on he took it out on that. So, anyways, all right, and then that's us. Hey, okay. Oh, but I did have a picture that I wanted to show because we are coming into the holidays. I can discuss it more later, but I've talked about it before, and we get rid of that. Okay. Talked about it before. Okay. Oh, that's that fungi again. You get it? Where's my dude? It's a fungi. Then you got this was, you want to know what else I do besides YouTube? Because that's why I'll listen to the Bible as I do stuff like this. These are just some of the piles of wood that I've been having to cut so we can actually stay warm this winter. And then I have to do it in and out the rain days, and also when I'm working up here for you all. So just showing you there's more to life than these screens and these channels. There's the Stones going on tour, brought to you by AARP. I don't know. There's just such comedic thing in that I didn't have to do anything more. So yeah, they're back in tour. And then new 100% vegan ice cream, sugar-free, no eggs, lactose-free, and no calories. Okay. This. The whole idea of Santa going around in the sleigh and all that. And I get it. You got little kids, you're going to teach them that maybe, but it's up to you. Just know it starts from this Saturn going around. It's these gods, and he's got like dragons and stuff. And it's basically no bueno. I think he eats babies and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I got the Greek gods wrong. There's so many heathen gods. And by the way, if you are a Capricorn, just so you know, the Mandela effect of Capricorn, it's now a goat fish. And if you're not familiar with that, go check it out. But yeah, Capricorn, which was the goat, is now goat fish. So just saying. But that's basically Santa Claus. So anyways. Okay. I think that's it. No, there's one more. It's a cool picture. Photo, image, drawing. And we covered all that. Oh, whoops. Oh, you know what? I thought these are... wait, let me go back.
Okay. A ceiling fan photoshopped into a picture of Jupiter, or a satellite orbiting Jupiter.
See? I'm telling you, everybody watches me. Doesn't matter who it is. And I'm not going to play this whole thing, but going along with this Tartar thing, I got this from one of my wonderful fans. I think it was Steven. Good eye. And look at, they even say it in the Batman.
Holy Tartars.
Unholy Tartars, Robin.
See, I'm telling you, they've always had this in these programming. It's to get us prepared for stuff in the future that we might not even realize is coming our way. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, I think I got through all those. Let's get out of that. All right. Now, I was told I wasn't reading the chat, and I apologize. When I get into that, I kind of stay that way. So what do we got here? Yeah, I'll try my best. Thank you. What is this? He's a fun guy. Oh, me? I hope that's me. Yeah, don't mock the reindeer. Right. Let's see. Yeah, there's lies in everything, right? So, okay. Okay, so Nobel, this is what I think. He's allowed, God says in the end, the very end, he's allowed to mess with us. He's let loose to be the prince, right? The prince of the airways. He's allowed. It's not like God's checked out, though. So, like the Supernatural show I used to love, the Wincest brothers. They in that show, it ended horribly. They pretended that God checked out and he's not watching or anything. And yet, if God told you about all these times, he's here. He's allowing certain things to happen in their time, in their way, to help wake us up. Because if he does nothing and then it ends, it's going to catch a lot more people off guard. And so I believe there's time right now, for a little while anyways, to help with that, facilitate more people waking up. So, and what do we got here? Cream of tartar is masonry. Really? I don't know if you made that up, but I like it. So let's see what else we got. What is this? There are other fallen angels, not just one. Yeah, I think definitely, and that's where I read the book of Enoch. It had a lot of things in there, and some people say that's not scripture, but hey, there are certain things I think that go along with it, and God does talk about the book of Enoch, so I'll listen to it, and yeah, there's multiple, but Satan's the one that falls and is in charge of all this mess, I believe. So yeah, anyways, let's see. I'm not sure what you're snorting out, but I have been known to snort as if I've laughed too hard. So yes. And no, I got my own white coat. Thank you very much. I think I had mine before Jen did, just saying. So what else? Wait a minute. DM, did you just show up? Like the show's been on. What are we going on? Holy crap. 3 hours? And you just got here, or very close to just getting here. You're going to have to rewatch the show, the beginning. You got to bang erasers with the rest of the late people.
I don't feel dirty.
So, and you're saying good afternoon. Are you one of my Australian friends or some other country that's really different time? So let's see. And where are we at here? So, okay. I'm just looking up here to see if we had anything else. And oh yeah, and isn't that interesting? I saw someone said that the what do you call it? The fake skeleton they're trying to push on us. Once again, Lucifer, whatever. So, okay. Does my old Bible have Enoch? No, it has the Old Testament, the New Testament, and it has the Apocryphal. It has those in it. But no, it does not. It does not. Okay. So, I don't know. I think that's about it. That's 3 hours worth. Got some people who are still over on Rockfin, still watching me. William K. 101, thank you. I see you're over there. I haven't been talking to you over there. I appreciate you over there. And the $5 tip. You're beautiful. Thank you very much. I very do appreciate it. So, sorry I haven't been watching the Rockfin chat. You asked about Dolly's braces and CERN. Okay, Dolly's braces, to me, she always had braces. And then there's that commercial that you can find where he mimics it, and the gal has braces. The joke in Moonraker only makes sense if she has braces because he had the metal teeth, and they fall in love. They had something in common. Now she doesn't have them. So for me, she always had it. As far as the CERN thing, I think that's more smoke and mirrors. I believe a lot of what's going on, Satan or whoever you want to say, them, whatever, control group, whatever. I don't care what name you put in there. It doesn't matter. That's another magician's trick to make us think that they're actually doing something at CERN. What I think is happening at CERN is they're doing witchcraft, spell castings, whatever, because you can watch it. We've covered it. I don't like playing it too much on my show. They do these demonic dances and they show these weird things on the screen, and there's like an antichrist birth, a goat creature and all that. None of it has anything to do with scientific and smashing atoms and all that. I don't believe they're doing that. I think that's all just, once again, more magician's trick, just like Stephen Hawking's. I don't believe it's actually doing what they say. What I do believe is if they have any way of, say, opening a portal with Kurt Russell or somebody, or what's that other guy, James Spader, I think he opened them. If they have a way of doing that through spells and dances and witchcraft or whatever, that's what I believe CERN is. It's a way to pray to their deities and Satan to try to create stuff to mess with us. But that's what's causing the Mandela effect? I can't prove it. No one can. What I can say is God allows it. Just remember, he didn't just walk away and let us fend for ourselves. He allows it. If something weird's going on, he's allowing it. So, okay, what else? Take everything else? I'm sorry you felt alone. I hope you're still there. William K. 101. Thank you. And I'll write here. Thank you for your, what am I going to say? Thank you for your input, I guess. Okay. Excuse me. We'll chat that out. So hopefully you're still here, William K101. And yeah, you know what's interesting? I should bring this over and show you real quick. I went on to, oops, not there. Clickety click. I went on to Rockfin and let's go over here. Your channel. And two things. Let me bring this up. Oh, I forgot to show these pictures. I forgot two pictures. How dare I? First of all, two wonderful, wonderful fans of mine, which is funny. My kids always laugh, or the few that actually watch this show laugh when I tell them I have fans. But look at this. We got Johnny Cool looking all cool. And I like, and he put satellite tracking continues. Is that fantastic? That's fantastic. And then of course, you've got, I'm drawing a blank. Mesa Mel, thank you. It's in my head. And he's got his melt shirt on and he's got a little mug. Isn't that cool? You guys, you're awesome. Isn't that great, Trisha? Yeah, love it. So, and, but this was, I thought, that Rockfin, I don't know. I'm enjoying the company. I know that they have issues with their chat and it doesn't cast well, and hopefully they'll one day fix it. But they were having a meeting, a Zoom call about how they're changing their RAID token, RAE tokens. And so I wanted to hear. It's important, because I do. And thank you, Heather. Every week she tip me on Rockfin, and so it's important to me, how much the tokens or what they're planning on doing. But what I found funny is I joined the meeting, and I don't know, accident or God's placement, whatever you call it. And look where I am. This is the CEO. This guy's run like two different companies, including Rockfin. And look where I am on the screen. It was really funny. And I waited because they were discussing the Rockfin, how they were going to change the price of the tokens and whatever. And I waited, and he said, "Is there any other questions?" And so I had a couple of questions about things like why is the chat done, whatever. And this funniest thing, I wish I'd recorded, is he goes, "Who's ceiling fan, man?" Because when I pulled up my Zoom thing that I use for these shows, it came up like this, and everyone else had their name, And I swear I think he thought I was a troll because I was black screen. I didn't turn my camera on. But and anyway, I don't know. I found that hilarious that he's like, "Who's ceiling fan, man?" Anyways, that was my Rockfin experience. Oh, yeah, and one last thing for my Australian friends. Oops, where'd it go? Just another day at the beach in Australia. They're so used to seeing sharks, they don't care if there's a warning. Look at that. Shark sighted today under your own risk. Everything in Australia is supposed to try to kill you, I guess. So, hey, Mumsy Bear, thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. Absolutely, I can hear you. I can hear you. What do we have to hear you? I can hear you. You think I would have had something? There, how about this?
Boom, baby!
Thank you very much. That's very, very kind. That does help just to work through these. Because StreamYard, you have to, anyways, you got to do a lot of things to put this up. Any case, okay, so people are saying goodnight and stuff. So it looks like people are leaving. Time to go to bed. So you liked it? Good. Thank you. I really do appreciate your support. And yeah. And so where should we go from here? I guess we'll just we'll wrap it up and put a bow on it and say, I encourage you to please continue to look into these things and specifically check into the questions that I'm presenting about. Is the Bible legitimate text? Is Jesus your Savior? Does God exist? Look into those things on your own. Don't go and follow these idols or these channels that tell you it's all nonsense. Okay? Look into it yourself. Just like when you woke up and became a truther or whatever you call yourself, you were looking into things on your own. Do the same when it comes to this. And like I said, I don't like calling us truthers. I had a whole thing where I came up with, I think we should go back to the critical listener. I've been having this thing where I don't like the names that they give us. You know, I don't like truther or awake, or even, you know, some of these labels of like religions and stuff. I don't go for any of those. On one stream, Brian, he called himself a critical thinker. So with that in mind, we were trying to come up with something, and I thought I'd ask you guys. So what do you think about for either hat or shirt or some idea like this? So the basic idea is we call ourselves critical listeners, learners, and thinkers. And then we could have some kind of logo.
We're gonna call ourselves a bunch of clips.
Ceiling fan, man. You even got a logo for it.
Yeah, and see, like there's a person inside like the firmament. I don't know, it's in progress.
Is that what it is?
Vagina.
No.
Vagina. The clit.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, it still not seem to be going over so well. I'll keep trying, but I don't know. I still think there's a shirt in that. So anyways, after that, let's have a prayer. That's how this show goes. So, Father in heaven, please watch over us and guide us through these times. Open our eyes, open our hearts, open our loved ones' eyes and hearts. Help the Holy Spirit go throughout all of the people that we care about and all the people listening to the sound of my voice, and help them see and hear the things that we talk about. Continue to guide us through these times. Help us with love and with patience so that we'll be able to endure and withstand these times, because we need to present God's Spirit to everyone that is troubled and worried right now, and give them the comfort that we feel through the Holy Spirit, through Jesus. We ask this of Father in heaven. Amen. Okay. Wow. All right. And having said this, you get this.
Touch your tongue to mine.
What? Wait, wrong one. You get this.
Class is dismissed.
All right. God willing, let's do this again. I love you all. Thank you so much for spending time here. Like, share, and subscribe. Write to me. And check out some of the other stuff on my channel and anything else. Just live your life in joy. Do your best to endure through these times. And when you find yourself not being able to do it alone, reach out to friends and family. But if you can't, reach out to God. Those are the moments that he's waiting for you. You just got to talk to him and he'll be there. So having said that, God bless you all. I wish you all a wonderful week going forward, and health and happiness. God bless you. Good night.